Like encouraging her to.
Okay, we call the meeting to order for Southern Guam Soil Water Conservation District. December regular board meeting, today's Wednesday, December 18th. The time is 4:13 p.m. We're conducting it here in person at the Crown Plaza, 108 Poly Salvatore's Road in Toledo. Can we do a roll call if you want?
Chairperson Michael Uggan,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Glenn Takai,
Present.
District Director Yvonne Manglotno-Waneza, present. District Director Martha Tenorio, present. District Director Dr. Glenn Dula.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum.
Okay, so we have quorum. We can, do you want to identify the others in the room?
Okay, we have District Administrator Erica Pangilinan,
Present.
Conservation Technician Madeline Flores, Program Support Specialist John Tanavasa,
Present.
Project Director Geraldine Datwin,
Present.
UOG Technical Advisor Mark Acosta.
Present.
And then we also have our advisor,
For the northern.
Robert Shabaka.
and we also have the Northern Advisor, Dr. Bob Bavasa. And then Chairman Joe Santos from Northern Guam.
And then
Jenna Lynn's on the Zoom and.
Oh, and then Jen.
Northern District Manager.
Northern District Manager, Jenna Lynn.
Present.
Okay, so we'll proceed on. First off, I'd like to welcome everybody for this Christmas holiday meeting that we're having here in 2 months. Thank you all for coming. We'll kind of hash through this meeting without too much pain and get to the real reason we're here. No. Okay, so item number 2 is acceptance of the meeting agenda. And everybody reviewed the agenda, right? Or
Yes.
do we get on motion to accept?
I motion to accept Wednesday's meeting agenda for December 18th.
Okay,
Second.
and thank you, Yvonne, thank you, Martha, for a second, we're gonna. Yeah, right. So, any other comments on the agenda? None. So without objection, we'll so move. And then we need the time for that. No, okay. Moving on to item number 3, approval of the minutes for 11/20/2024 meeting. I hope you guys had a chance to review it. Otherwise, it's right there in your folder. And then, once you're ready, I'll take a motion to accept. Or.
All right, we move to accept the meeting minutes from Wednesday, November 20th, 2024.
I
Okay.
second.
Martha, second, thank you. Any comments or inputs to this, or changes? Without none, so, okay, without objection. So moved. Thank you. Moving on to number 4, treasurer's report.
All right, so for the present financial report, we have in our general fund, $108,956.81. In the stress grant, there's $1,969.25. TA 2023 account, $11,104.89. GACD TA 2021 account, $23,843.88. and then $1.20 in our savings. Any questions or comments from anybody?
Just really quick, for the stress grant, we officially closed that out, and the only pending action is to move those funds back into the general fund.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
So, quick question, the 1,969 will be moved to general?
Yes. That was the leftover
Yeah.
from after we had met our what do you call it? Our
We fully expended, and then
Yeah.
it's a reimbursement back to our account
Yes.
so that's why it will go back into the general account. We just don't have any more check for that specific account, so I'll have to coordinate that with this.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions regarding the treasurer's report? Okay, can we get a motion to accept the report?
I would do it, but I just gave the report.
I make a motion to accept the report, treasurer's report as is.
Okay, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Glenn, for the second. Any other comments or inputs? Without objection, so moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 5, USDA NRCS District Conservationist Report.
Mr. Chair, as per the request from JD Martin, he asked that we invite the district conservationist Jay to start attending all of our meetings, the partner in this meeting. However, Jay is on leave until next year. But we do have John who can present on the current application status with
Oh, John.
John is our liaison, sitting in NRCS, so in lieu of Jay not being here, we'll go ahead and hear from John on the status of the work he's been doing and the application status on the last.
Okay,
It's going good so far. I just got an email that I got my clearance, so I'll pick it up tomorrow.
oh, wow.
It's
Congratulations.
kind of hard, you know, because I don't have clearance to the whole system, but it'll get easier. But so far we referred 22 from applicants from the outreach that we had at UOG. Out of those 22, there was like 41 total applications because not everybody got EQIP and CSP. So there was 41 total. And then I'm working on 22 eligibility letters, which have taken a little while because I don't have clearance, but like I said, tomorrow I can get it. And then it should move.
And they're not out, right?
I'm sorry.
The remainder are still processing.
It's all still processing. Yeah, it's been challenging a little bit without access to the system, so
Okay.
but it's getting better.
So just to clarify, I also spoke with the Modeswa today, and yeah, she reported the same thing, that they have about 60 applications that were submitted. 42 of which the Southern District actively recruited to through our outreach efforts. So now John and Maddie as well are assisting NRCS in getting through the eligibility requirements. So hope to hear what's the status of the next board meeting with Jay on.
Okay,
I'm good, yeah.
Sean.
what's this?
Another item that we were looking to discuss with Jay is possibly adopting the process of approving the conservation plans that were developed by NRCS for our southern producers and members. So it's up to the board if we want to wait until Jay is here and to formally adopt this process, so that way we can have if we have any questions, he's here to address what it is we need to do moving forward.
So that's still next year, right?
Yeah, so next year.
Okay, I think we'll be okay, right?
Yes.
And if the board agrees, that will just wait.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Moving on to item number 6, Southern District membership updates.
Yeah, so this is a new thing that we've started. As you know, we are actively recruiting our southern members to register with our district. And with that, we do have a process where the board will review who's who's registered with us and approved them and issue out certificates, so we approved about 5 last meeting, so Maddie, she is the one leading this effort. I'll let her report on that.
Go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah, so we did approve for last meeting and me and Erica and with John's help also, we were able to issue out the certificates. So these are our certificate of membership for the last one that was approved last meeting. And then we have it should be in your binder also is the new 6 members that we are registering for to be approved this meeting.
So these 6 new members have been vetted and confirmed that they are a landowner and or a registered bona fide farmer of Guam with their documentation.
So they're ready to be approved for
Yes,
board approval. So we're gonna make a motion on that, somebody.
and you should see the membership in your binder, your tab, yes, you. Oh, yeah, so Maddie.
Yeah.
So there.
Do we have to say their names out as well?
No.
He's a former student.
Well, in that case, I'll go ahead and make the motion that we go ahead and approve the newly registered numbers to the Southern Guam Soil Water Conservation.
Six of them,
And there are 6 of them total, yes.
okay.
How many do we have from Inalapa?
1, 2,
Oh.
2. 2 from Santa Rita, 1 from Agate, and one from Jonia.
Good,
Um,
good job.
Yeah,
So can we get a
second,
second?
A second.
Okay, I don't think there's much discussion on this, right? We're all good to go.
The only discussion, Mr. Chair, is that we are coming at the end of the first quarter of the fiscal year, so we'll go ahead and turn over our list to our advisor, Mark.
Mhm. Okay,
all right.
so without objection, so move, awesome,
Yes.
good job, you guys.
I have a question real quick. Is Maryland, so. Is that GSC or is that for personal farming?
Oh, that's your private one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good question.
I guess my other question is, are we allowing companies to get membership into
Are we allowing like
nonprofit?
corporation? Well, they have to be a landowner, farmer. It doesn't specifically state corporations, but there is that provision of. You can look into that.
Yeah, that's something you can look into. And that's good, good to question, that's that. Okay, so, item number 7, old business, next generation, Glenn.
Where are you?
Where are you?
There you are.
Right on.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I was hoping to be there, so I didn't have to while I'm on the way. But yeah, I'll go ahead and I don't have too much to report on. But the big day is coming up in terms of presenting my capstone project. A lot of work has been done. I pretty much, as I've reported in the past, decided to do the comprehensive needs assessment and strategic plan on the FCAG, the Farmers Cooperative Association of Guam. Definitely worked with some of you in the district here, Erica, as well as being able to work with, met with at least a board director. I believe Maddie was one there, and the staff, Sharon. I went ahead and outsourced into connecting with the founder of the co-op, Tom Camacho. I've connected also with Jesse Bamba. And lastly, I'll be connecting with current president Mike Ogden tomorrow. So the presentation that I have to do, my capstone project, will be presented on 7 p.m. Central time, December 19th, which means it's December 20, Friday for me, 10 a.m. So I got a lot to kind of put together and prepare for, but I feel like we did a good job in being able to put a lot together for this strategic plan. I came with all of the research done. I came to know that there was a strategic plan that was actually done in 2015. So it kind of made it actually was good was to parallel what things we could see as a SWOT analysis. What were the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats from then and also now. So pretty good project, but just hoping I can be able to do a great job in presenting that plan on Friday morning. And I believe that would be our last.
Director,
That's our capstone.
Wait,
Yep.
I think it's freezing up.
Maybe we skip him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
because he's.
Come back later when he's in person.
Director Glenn or Vice Chair, sorry, because I think it's breaking up, are you okay with us when you arrive? And so you're safe too, we'll hear your report on it again, this Wednesday too.
In person?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
good with that. If you can hear me, I'm throwing a thumbs up if you can't hear me.
Yeah.
But I'm
You can see.
good with that.
What's your ETA?
I'm already at the Kmart intersection.
Okay, perfect.
I'm at the Kmart.
Good job.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move on into, and we'll circle back to Glenn's report so you can finish it off.
Okay.
So B would be in the old business, B would be FY 2025 action plan
Yes, so,
development.
okay.
Mhm.
Thank you, Chairman. So I did go ahead and send out our proposed action plan for FY 2025. And really the reason why we're here in this specific venue is we'll be engaging in a strategic planning session after to kind of get an idea of what types of activities we're gonna be running so we can start preparing. But for now, we can discuss this later, but you all have a copy of the strategic plan or the action plan for your review, and there's also an agenda for the strategic planning session after the meeting.
Okay. Immediately after, right? That's our next slide. Okay. So moving on to C, 2025 NACD annual meeting, Salt Lake City, Utah. So have we identified who's all gonna be traveling and all, or what's that?
I don't believe we did yet. I was able to ask the directors if they'll be able to make it. I think I know. I'll put it to the board to kind of state their status on if you're able to attend or not.
I know that Glenn and I are going. Glenn's got his graduation thing and also he paid already
Right.
and sick just like mine, right? So
I'm
you're
available
good,
to
right,
attend,
Martha,
yeah.
Yvonne?
No, I don't think I'll be able to make.
Your-
the
your-
annual meeting.
your
I don't
job
really
still,
have-
right?
I don't really
Yeah.
have leave.
Oh, man.
Dr. Dula?
I'd be fine.
No.
Yeah, and then, who was it? That's it, right? On the board?
For the board.
Yeah. So, and then Erica, right?
Yes, and Erica.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, I think we were looking at, who was it? One more, staff?
An additional staff, yes.
Yeah, John, was it John that was, Maddie, you're,
I think Maddie,
oh,
Madeline,
Maddie, okay.
Madeline, John.
Okay, you're, yeah, okay.
And then, of course, our advisor.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
our
yeah.
advisor,
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for that, what do we need to do here? Okay. And then, you guys were all gonna have to work together as far as travel dates and
Mhm.
hotel reservation and everything like that, right? So, and, I think Erica, you're gonna handle that.
The reservation, yes, I'll be working with the directors to make sure that your hotels and the travel authorizations are all good to go. Be on the lookout for that.
So where it says, tours, maybe don't include me on that.
Okay,
Okay,
Already from the past history,
yeah,
I'll be
they
too
get
busy.
you, yeah.
You know, we lost some money in San Diego because of that rain. So yeah, don't count me in as far as that tour because I don't want us to be spending that money. I know I'm not gonna be able to make that. And then, so we do have a breakout session, correct? You wanna talk about that or?
Yeah, so we will be presenting, I believe, on the 12th. I'll need to, actually, I'll need to confirm on the date, but I did see it on the agenda. Our presentation is due before the 31st, so I'll be working with our, our consultant that we hired that helped us arrange the capacity training.
Yeah.
I'll be working with him and I'll present the presentation to the board for your approval. Yeah,
Okay, and then we also need to look into an auction donation.
yes, sooner than later.
Martha?
Yes, I would be happy. to.
You're on it?
Yes,
Okay,
have some great ideas for next year.
already?
Yes.
That's good. And then the last one there would be membership dues. So yes, and that's a big thing that, that's one of my big take backs from our executive board actually too, is about, membership and dues and all that. So I really think that I think it's better we pay it before we get there.
Yes, we usually
Okay.
pay it during the annual meeting,
Yeah.
but let's just get it done so that they can calculate that, our contribution.
So we were thinking about also increasing our membership dues, right? You wanna,
Yes, so, we usually commit or contribute about $775, to the NACD, which is the most basic level. We're looking at the platinum level at 1,776. And the max is 3,000. But it would offer more benefits, in this platinum level. They'll highlight us, we'll get a discount, we'll also get some free registration, one free registration for the annual meeting. But being that a lot of our grant funding is coming from NACD, we think it's appropriate to increase our dues, especially as we're big recipients of the funding. And yeah,
yeah, so, those membership dues and all that is a very big part of the overall funding for the NACD's efforts, throughout the nation. So it really helps everybody throughout. And us going from the minimum membership dues paying and increasing it, moving up to the, what was it, platinum level?
yeah,
I think, that really kind of shows our maturity within the organization. Because we were there at the bottom. We just show up and we just, listen and we just come back and, but ever since then, we've been developing and growing and expanding. We've accomplished many things through the last 7 years or so, 6 years?
6
Yeah,
years.
maybe 6 years. There's so much changes in us, how we go out there and what we do, what we accomplish out there. So I think this is a perfect time for us to move up in that, get away from the lower end and show that we also are carrying the load, helping our national association, throughout. So
I'll share more.
I really appreciate that.
Plus, it was mentioned during the last Pacific region meeting that the Pacific region in itself gets a lot of the grant funding, but our dues are fairly
Yeah.
low. And then plus having to think about, we used to have three entities consistently contributing the dues for Guam, and now it's down to 2, I believe. So that's another factor.
Yeah.
So double platinum, baby. Hi, everybody.
Put your plan over in that table.
Let the record show that Director Glenn Takai, Vice Chair, has
Has
shown up.
interrupted the room.
Oh, really?
Hey.
That will get through.
Double plan, maybe.
So maybe the board, we need to hear from the board or.
So, yeah, can we get any comments or inputs about that regarding this change in our? Anybody?
No, I have no objection to it at all. It makes a lot of sense and I totally support it. I agree with you that it does show growth in our district and it's a win-win-win situation because we benefit from going up to platinum and the money trickles down and everyone. There's no objection from me at all.
Are we going to diamond or platinum?
Okay, so we're at the gold, currently we're at the gold level
Yeah.
at 775. We get 10% off from the NACD market. This is just what they have, and then access to the members only section. The diamond level is 1,776. The second registration is half price, sorry,
Yeah.
just to clarify. One invitation to the NACD president's reception, 15% off NACD marketplace. That also includes when we have stewardship week, activities, we get our supplies from there. Recognition in the annual NACD report, and then still access to the members only section.
We're wanting to move to diamond or are we?
Diamond
Or platinum?
Double, do they have double platinum?
Platinum is 3,000.
Oh.
So in addition to whole second
Yeah.
registration, create 2 invitations to the president's NACD.
What's the members only section?
So the
Online.
Yeah, but
members,
what's in it?
I've been trying to access that for the long time.
that's not a new thing. So NACD has a members only section, for directors or any member of NACD to go in, access their bylaws, access a lot of the resources that NACD has, like if there's training, you can access that information. They're resources for your district, for you to use, and we haven't been using that and we should really
Yeah.
start up, but there are a lot of issues accessing the members only section, so we can maybe ask Caleb or somebody.
Yeah, I've been
to-
trying to contact someone, to get my information.
Yeah, Kim should be able to our
Yeah.
area.
I think I tried. them.
We'll make a motion on that too.
Sure, okay, so what level? I'm okay with platinum, I think.
This is, I don't know if this is a silly question, but. Are we like, what if it's 1 year we don't have the finance, like, are we able to go back down? Or once you're up there, you have to?
Oh, yeah,
maintain?
you
Okay.
can actually.
Oh,
pay
okay, I
even
like, it's not
$1.
like forever and ever. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, you can really actually only pay $1.
wow,
Yeah.
okay.
But like I said, I think we've gotten
Mhm.
to a certain level there that,
3,000,
yeah.
I'm okay with that,
As long as it's in our budget.
yeah.
I agree.
Is it in our budget?
But we will have to make a motion to appropriate money, as we do have a budget, but it's not
Okay,
this budget, so we will need an official motion to appropriate funding to cover whichever membership we decide. I mean, diamond is good, platinum is also good if you put the board.
You shine bright like a diamond. Sorry, I miss you guys, man.
I'm-
So whatever, what do you guys think? What do you want?
I feel like, given how far we've come, getting platinum would be an achievement in itself. To recognize like all the hard work and the collaboration and the partnership that we're doing.
And then having you in the executive and having our new cohort, I feel like that just shows even more our commitment and how we are.
Which one's higher, diamond or platinum?
The platinum, the platinum.
Platinum,
So-
right?
We'll make the motion to go to the platinum level and then adjust our funding for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Director Glenn, make the motion.
Okay, I move to have our membership status be changed up to the platinum level. And pay the 3,000, and then according to our budget, we'll shift it to where we can make sure that it's within budget.
$3,001.
$3,001,
Yeah.
thank you.
I second that.
okay. Any other comments, inputs, or objections? Without any, so moved. Thank you, guys.
Yay, congratulations. platinum members.
That's a good,
It's such a main path.
Yeah.
I agree. I feel like, oh, at the end.
Yeah, when we go there, do we get a special badge? Just kidding.
Of a platinum like right? Just kidding.
we're gonna get the,
We'll just
remove the
make our own.
Sonagi and put.
I'm bringing my wooden one from our.
And walk with our chest out.
Oh, so he's back.
Oh, yeah, so we're gonna circle back to Director Glenn's report.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you. I don't know how much you guys heard. I was just saying it's been fun. The last time I reported, we were just going over my capstone project, which is basically the last thing before I graduate from this Next Generation Leadership Institute. And we've gotten further. Like I think the last time I reported, it was I've worked really well with our district administrator. She helped do a lot of the planning, so I want to keep sure I make sure I keep saying that. But then also with the district was the input I got from here. I connected with Maddie, who represented the board for FCAG, and then also Sharon, which is their staff as well. And then I got with Tom Camacho, which was the founder. And then I also got yesterday with Jesse Bomba, who's their advisor. And then to finalize, circle back out around and get with our president, which I spoke with today. And then also we're gonna connect tomorrow to look at the whole entire thing. The plan looks good. It's basically the needs assessment strategic plan for the Farmers Cooperative Association of Guam. And the presentation that I will be doing is gonna be on Friday morning. So it's gonna be a big one, but I mean, you know, I figure it's just a 10-minute talk kind of a deal virtually. And I think we got a good plan. I don't know if you guys heard, but I did share that as I was doing all of this research, I realized that there was actually a plan that was put in place already in 2015. Whether it got implemented or it, from my knowledge, it didn't as of now. So I think we could kind of, the things that I worked to get this SWOT analysis for FCAG, which was strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, it pretty much matched what was already there, but the other one was very comprehensive. So I think as I sit with our current president, Mike Hogan, we could kind of take a look at what we're gonna do to try to bring that into implementation as the plan moving forward. So I'm excited actually to be able to share it. It was kind of something that we just chose because I thought it would help move agriculture and sustainability on going forward. So, yep, I need prayer. If you guys can pray for me, if that's okay to say in this meeting, maybe Friday, it would be, I think it's gonna be fun. So
What
thank
time
you.
is that?
It's gonna be 7 PM Central Time, the 19th for them, but for us, that translates to 10 AM Guam time, Friday morning.
Friday morning?
So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do we have invasive species that? what
Yeah.
time? On
Friday?
Friday,
No.
that's what.
This Friday.
this Friday.
19 on the state west, so it's.
Are we able to listen in?
Friday morning. So,
I
yeah.
didn't get a
Yeah.
notification.
Send the link.
Okay, sure. Will do, yeah. And thank you guys for the support, because without the district, I would not be a part of it. So definitely the district was a big thing that was done a year ago, a little over. So thank you guys, man. It's been fun.
I'm so proud of you. You're
Yeah.
representing us so well.
Thank you.
So, so this is something that we've been trying to push it into
Yes.
early on.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were so many things that you had to really, figure out before, right?
Yeah.
There's a commitment, right?
Yeah.
There was,
And, yeah, so that's really good
yeah,
that we did,
like that.
plus, this is another, step for us again. This is
Correct.
a big thing. One of our members, one of our own, was able to complete that
Yeah.
NGLI, training, which is. And we'll just look to the future, or anybody else has a plan, the drive to do it, we could
Not a
probably do another one.
Yeah.
So,
And so if I don't totally fail and bomb that guys on Friday, then I should be able to graduate at the annual meeting on February. So that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal.
so we'll be there.
No doubt.
Yeah, unless, thank you.
Good job, Glenn.
Thank you guys.
Okay, moving on to, item number 8, new business, A would be the NECD Executive Board Member Training, final report or?
Okay, Chairman, did you want to share your highlights of it? We'll work together to make sure that we submit your travel report within 10 business days since you returned.
I was supposed to, work for all this thing, but I was in Louis Aspie's office, we were
The long
meeting.
hallways.
Yeah, with nobody in it. And, so we were done with the meeting, and so we decided to get up and take a photo. And I walked out of the room with my phone without taking my photo, so all my note thing I left it. And I didn't know it till like the next day or two, so, but. I can just give you a little thing that we talked about, what I can gather, but. So that membership dues and stuff was a big topic in our meeting. And I'm glad that we decided to step up our effort there. Oh, man, I did look this up today so I can pull it up, but it's. So we did some leadership training, needs assessment too for the entire NACD board and others. So there's gonna be some changes coming out, and so like the region chairs are gonna start getting more responsibility as far as managing the region. I don't know if you remember me talking to you about when I was the chair, like, what are we supposed to do? What, how come I'm not, like, I should be, reaching out to all the other territories and states and, communicating. And I think it was Arrow who said, don't worry about it at that time, right? Maybe she was trying to do a favor or what, I don't know, but now we're gonna make those region chairs be more responsible for those kind of efforts, right? And connecting with the state associations and all that, and, working things through that. So that's gonna be a big change, and there'll be others, even as an executive board, we will have some responsibilities that we will do, like coordinating between the region chair and the executive board, things like that. The executive board members is not like, the region chair is really getting the brunt of that. So I'm glad I'm not in that chair anymore.
This is Terry now, right? Terry.
Yeah,
Rigsby.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure she'll be able to handle that. Yeah, so training for that, and then other, and which is like, it has all the different, I'll just give you some of these things, onboarding, selection and onboarding, leadership development, financial literacy and fiduciary responsibilities. So those are kind of things that we're gonna be starting to do, and then membership outreach, that's the one that I was saying. And then, of course, there's a relation between the board and the staff and how we relate to them, and, and it's right that you have to, identify the roles and who answers to who, and so that there's no, cross, like board members directing staff and to do things like that. You gotta follow the chain of command, so you have to go through like Jeremy, Peter, right, to, really, so we're not gonna, I can't just go up to
Kim.
yeah, and say, hey, do this, do that, and, or, things like that, so those are the things like that. And there's, what do you call it, ethics training and stuff like that, I think it's gonna be required that all board members, Joe, that's something even like if you start being that board chair for the, in the big board. We're all gonna have to go through that training, and I actually sign off on it, just like what we're doing out here. So those are the kind of things that will be coming up. Okay, and then moving on, there's our resolutions thing, so that one, we're still going forward with that resolutions, right?
Yeah, we have it on.
Well, it's on the
Business.
agenda, yeah, so I don't have to talk about it now, but we gotta, prepare for that, and there's also process how we do it, right? So we'll get to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, do that now or?
In a bit.
Okay.
No, not yet, not yet.
What it is, the resolutions are due by December 30th.
Yes. And then we did, the hill, they call it the Capitol. We did some, I didn't go, I was with the USDA team, because we split up into 3 teams actually. So one was at the USDA, NRCS and all those. One was in the House of Representatives, one team, and then the other one was in the US Senate, so. That's how we worked it, and we visited Lewis's office. I didn't get to talk because Crowder and every time I was trying to say something, those two were just going, because they're really. The big thing for the executive board is actually getting that stuff passed through this Congress. It's ongoing right now, is with the news today about adding some of the farm things into this
Extension of
no, not the farm bill, but the continuing resolution and all that, the funding. Before the end of the year, right?
Yeah.
That, to keep it going. So they did mention about agriculture, funding, and that's one of the bigger things on the. But it's not, I don't think it's there right now. So I don't know, we'll see what happens.
It failed. I saw the red email said it failed not too long ago again, so
Yeah, so
they got
we'll see,
a few more days.
yeah.
We'll submit the formal write-up to the
Yeah.
board for approval.
Mhm. And anyways, I told Louis asked me that we can draft up some kind of letter to, the concerns that we have on Guam. Working, with NRCS and making, where we want to come in and help, right? We want to help. We're not there to do anything. We want to help, because right now, those guys they're looking at major cuts. And there's like hiring freezes and stuff like that, so I think. We can work with that, right, and come in and help. We already got John in there in the office, right, and so we talked also to Jen about the TA grant thing and all that. Anyways, on Jennifer's side, let me just go there, because she sent me this thing. I talked to her earlier, and then she sent me this when I left.
Oh shit, wait.
He's gonna.
Hey, dude, that ain't something.
Okay, so Jen sent me a text, but I'll just go through it. She said she wanted to reaffirm the commitment, their commitment to us, right? Supporting Guam's effort. And she said, just let us know when we're ready to send over the budget and draft proposal.
For Rep B.
You're the rep, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Dr. Glenn and I will continue to work and, we'll send that over,
Mhm.
and to the board to review.
And then let me see, where is she? She said she spoke with DOD and have some funds ready to obligate to us. Well, she didn't say yet, probably 200, I think that's what she said, but. Cause you requested 308.
350.
She goes, we don't know yet what we have, but we have that 200 ready and then working for further, as soon as the funding is identified and committed to, so, yeah. And she said, she's ready to help and, we're good to go.
More than 200.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
But we'll submit a report later, right? Okay.
Good job, Chair, thank you.
And then I got sick again, coming back.
Oh,
I think that's a standard, practice.
Just brace yourself.
Yeah.
What did I know?
It was cold, like really, you wouldn't survive. I suffered. Remember the,
You both suck.
what do you call that train station? That one?
The Dubliner, the hot restaurant.
No, the train, the railroad, you know what that is?
Subway?
No.
The one on top of it where the hill's at, and then just the train station next to Dubliner, the restaurant.
Metro?
Yeah, up the hill,
I don't know.
There's a name for that central, like central station, but it's not.
Right,
There's another name, the one in Washington, and
yeah,
it's huge, right? There's.
the one in
food.
between the Dubliner and NACD's office, the big train station.
Yeah, so I had to go up there. Actually, the night I got there was the first night I went up there. I needed some drink and some other stuff just to, survive the night and all that. And it was so cold.
Wow.
And I didn't have a hat and I didn't have anything to bring.
Wow.
The worst part was protecting your oral and, yeah, because you're breathing that cold air in and I think that's what got it, cause I kind of had the upper respiratory infection like that. And every night I went out to get something, I got worse. Every time I had to go out there like that, it got
Okay.
worse.
You have to start traveling with a scarf.
Oh, yes.
Or when I'm there, I do the thing on the phone and then just bring it to me.
Well, that first night or two, my eSIM wasn't working too good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
So you get sick, I get jacked up on the planes.
Okay,
Thank you. We'll move on since we're,
yes, sorry.
we're new business speak.
Okay, the WUI grant proposal, Erica?
Okay, I've shared with all the board members and our advisor, our wildland urban interface grant proposal that we submitted to Department of Agriculture, Forestry, and Soil Resources Division. This was in partnership with the Guam Fire Department. It was a really fun proposal to work on. Thank you, John, for mapping out, but we're looking at the two areas, Molessu and Hoggett, Ocean View Middle School and the Molessu Elementary School. So it's about 102 acres that we're looking at protecting using fire breaks. So a lot of the funding will just go into securing services for someone to go in and cut all that grass. It's about 5,000 collected.
Would that be different than the not the sentinel landscape, what's the thing else, remember, the
The
southern.
landscape restoration.
No, it's the equipment,
Oh, the Joint Chief.
like Chiefs, yeah, would that be something that will help
Um,
with that as well anyway, or?
Yes, it is, it complements each other, so we did
So they
highlight
can get
that.
both?
Yes.
Oh, solid.
So this is, this grant has never been awarded to Guam, but because of all the strong partnerships that have been highlighted, it's a great, good
Yeah.
probability, so just hope for the best. That'll be the best Christmas gift for us as we're also entering into wildfire mitigation, relief. But, you all had it, Christine said that she was gonna submit it, so we'll see. I hope you had a chance to read through it.
I did.
So can we get a motion to approve that submission for this grant?
I make the motion that we approve the submission of this grant.
WUI.
Yes,
Okay.
WUI grant proposal
Okay,
as
Second.
presented to us.
okay. Any other comments, suggestions or anything? Nothing, no, okay, so without objection, so move.
Good luck.
Hopefully it works.
Yeah.
I think it will. Yeah.
Oh, man, it's gonna be amazing.
Firefighter. That'll be cool. Okay, Chairman.
Okay, NACD resolution proposal.
Okay, so we are looking at submitting a resolution via the Pacific region, and this is to support, we're looking for NACD to support increasing the reimbursement transportation rate for GL remote states and territories under USDA programs. You have the resolution submitted, or a copy of it in your binder, of the write-up, and I also sent that via email. So I was speaking with Director Glenn Takai on this specific resolution. Were you able to talk to Eileen?
Yeah, I was actually, and it's kind of like the discussions that we had were, when things are on percent, right? If we're given a percent, then as inflation happens, it's basically, it's already incorporated in. And so what we were looking at was trying to increase what we're getting, because we all know as farmers, right? Like I know I'm on the RTCP program for FSA. We do get funding, right, based on, now remember, this funding is for what it costs for transportation, not the product. And so because we like get so little, right? The idea is thinking, what can we do to increase it? So I don't know, we might wanna revisit how we're gonna write it or present it. And so how this goes is, there's two separate types, right? If we, as a farmer, and you're signed up with with FSA on the RTCP program, what they try to do is everything that is given, or everything that you spend on, that to bring that crop to production, they will be able to give you a percent of reimbursement for what it costs to transport that thing on Guam. Now, there's one, if you have something that's shipped in, and then the company actually has like that shipping cost, then what they're gonna give you is 25% of that shipping cost. Now, in other products that like it's not shown for you, then there's a formula. And that formula would be like, an example that me and Ari were talking about was, if you buy a bag of fertilizer, a 50-pound bag is probably gonna be like $60, right? We don't know what Wesco is paying or another company. So there's a formula that they have for that particular bag, because we don't know. And what it is, it's gonna be 25% times 22.5%. And the 25% is off of COLA. COLA, it's the maximum that any place in the world will get. I mean, it will never go above 25% as we speak, right? And then the 22.5% FSA, we don't know. Eileen doesn't know, and she asked her boss, our state director, how they came up with that. Currently, I mean, I only spoke to her today. They don't know. Yeah, I mean, and I didn't press too much more, but the idea was, how is this affect what we're getting today? And then you take that times whatever the product was. So for example, if it's $60 for a 50-pound bag, and you do that calculation, you're probably gonna get $3 for transportation reimbursed to you. And so we were asking like, well, we want to increase it, but inflation is already incorporated in that. So for example, if that bag of fertilizer 10 years ago, so the program I think was developed in 2011, right? And Eileen will say maybe 2012, 2011, but it was created then.
Yeah.
So even though more than 10 years have gone by and inflation has hit, because it's 25%, that's the max. Like Hawaii, I think, is only at 22. Alaska's, I think, at like 22%. So like Guam is already at the max that you could get. So it's kind of hard for us to ask for that to be increased anymore. Because they're never going to increase, it's not going to go above 25%. So what we're asking, we're already at the max that we're gonna get. So I think on this resolution, maybe we might want to take a look at, we're not gonna probably get an increase, but maybe let's look at redefining what can get funded. So like right now, currently, and this is just a thought, right, is currently it's just what is gonna be brought to market. But like, for example, like if I have like my shack, you guys, for those of you guys have been to my farm, like my little shack thing, right? If I bought all that wood and that tin and stuff like that, that doesn't count. So maybe in our resolution, we could probably look to maybe add that into. And that's probably the only thing I can say is probably for the RTCP program, but if we just ask.
So is it worth continuing with this?
I don't think so, if it's just asking to increase what we're getting, because they're gonna come back to us and say, we're getting the max of what they can actually do.
What about that FSA rate? I mean, COLA is one thing.
Yeah.
But maybe they need to revisit that.
Maybe
FSA.
that.
They don't even,
No.
or we don't know.
Yeah,
How that's developed.
Maybe we can look into how that's developed. And I even tried to chat GPT, because chat GPT is pretty good, right? And even chat GPT like gave me the whole thing, and I was like, wow, it was pretty in-depth as to how everything is calculated. And it was what Eileen said with the COLA, but then the 22.5%, it just kept saying everywhere, FSA is the one that does that.
Right.
FSA is the one that does that.
Maybe FSA needs to revisit that.
Yeah.
Rate or, yeah, cause
Yeah,
I think what Eileen said is she can, or she does agree that maybe it might need to be revisited, that specific rate.
yeah. Well, no, Eileen wouldn't say that.
She
Yeah,
wouldn't
she
say
wouldn't
that.
say that, but
she
she's.
can lobby.
Yeah, she can. So, but Eileen was saying that figure, she wasn't aware as of when she's been in that position as the director here, as to how it was derived from FSA, but that is the calculation that they have. 25% times 22.5 times the cost of the product. Now, that's again, only if we didn't know the transportation costs.
Yeah.
So maybe we could just kind of take a look more at how we want to define how we wanna bring up this resolution, but
Well, we need to do that soon though,
Yeah.
because, you know, we have a deadline and
Okay.
if we're gonna drop it or we're gonna have to decide, or is it worth it, or I'm thinking, you know, whatever those, calculations and whatever the COLA rates and all that, you know, that's all good, but in the end, is it really worth it to the farmer? I don't think
Yeah.
so. So what's the purpose of the program if it's not really gonna be beneficial?
I feel like it would only really benefit big commercial farmers, not our small.
And that's kind of like these other programs, right? The equip and all these where when they give you 25 cents per acre or whatever. and,
Yeah.
You know, you only got 1 acre, right? Versus
Yeah.
50,000 acres in court or whatever. you know.
Right.
And so
That's
that,
another.
remember the idea of the program was for equitable, right? It wanted to put us in a, like an equal place that where people in the States. So if you live in the States, you're not gonna have to pay that transportation cost because you're already there. And so what it was trying to do is for people like us in geo remote areas, it's gonna help us to at least recoup that cost, so.
It was use having that program. People are not necessarily jumping into it because
Yeah,
it's more effort. than-
unless we add to it. Like maybe what we could do in our resolution is add to it, like other than just, you know, for the crop, the commodity to be brought to market. You know, like I said, the other stuff that incorporates being on the farm or costs that go to the farm, not necessarily the product. You know, like maybe like fencing.
Yeah.
If I had to spend 20 grand for fencing, that's a lot of transportation costs, you know, but I think currently they don't fund that. You won't be able to get anything there. So I would definitely say that that's one. Like I would still do this resolution, but add to that. And then maybe we'll just look into further. Maybe we can go beyond state. We know FSA out there in the, you know, the USDA office. Maybe we can ask them, how does 22.5% come into play? And then maybe try to see how we can increase that, if that's possible.
Chairman Joe, what's your thoughts? You have any thoughts on this? I know you're familiar, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it, but I don't have any comments right now.
Yeah,
Huh?
I need to look actually into what this says over here and then go back and see.
Well, you know, you're part of BOM, so if you wanna, you know, provide some input into this so that we can all work
No,
on it.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
I just need to look at it and then get some things and see how we can make sure we're equitable, like you said, with what we're spending.
I like your idea with 22.5, looking at that.
What, instead of like changing the numbers of the current existing program that you already know can't go up or you can't figure out what the numbers are from. That's for to build a new program to supplement.
Like, or historically underserved.
Yeah.
Something like that,
Yeah,
with different rates.
So then we would change our resolution, like it wouldn't be an RTCP, then we would just now ask for build a new program.
yeah, a new program.
That would us come up with a whole different resolution. Which is still a good idea.
I mean, SGS, you know, has a special rate.
Yeah.
Incentive rate for historically underserved. I just wonder the same thing. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's really hard to change something that's broken.
You know, Director Kakai mentioned that you talked to somebody about where did they come up with the rates? And they said they couldn't identify where they.
Well, I only spoke to her today, and so like, you know, I didn't do any further, you know, like, so when I asked her, basically, she gave me how this is calculated. So it's the director of FSA, Eileen. So Eileen said she knows that Guam is given the 25% for the COLA, and you multiply that by a factor of 22.5. That 22.5 factor, whatever that coefficient comes from, we aren't aware of that as of today. But then you also multiply that by the product. Now, that's in the cases that the product that goes to the crop being brought to market is not defined in shipping. So for example, if I bought a shovel and I use the shovel, well, Benson I don't have the shipping cost that it costed Home Depot to bring that shovel here. So that's when they use that factor. However, if I was gonna go get a container, let's say me and Dr. Dula decided we're gonna do a project together and we say, hey, let's go half on this container and we're gonna buy all this fertilizer and we'll ship it in. If that billing shows the shipping there, then automatically, now we don't go to that factor. We just take that shipping cost and then they give us 25% of what that shipping cost was. So those are the two factors that go into this reimbursement program. And like I said, that's all based off the COLA, that 25%, and that's the maximum already that anyone can get. So that's how they do that. The only other fact that 22.5, like I said, is only when it's not itemized, when it's not something that was already, we knew the shipping cost. And that's it. Those are the two ways that they take them together at the end of at the end of the year. That's whatever you have shown on record with receipts.
And what did she say about maybe changing that 25% to?
Well, she said globally, that's 25%, even military, anywhere else, 25% is the highest COLA goes. So that one, she's saying it's that won't change. And right now, Guam is one of the ones that has the max. Like a lot of these other insularies don't even have max. So she gave me examples, like Alaska's at 22, Hawaii's at 22, other places around are not even at 25. So she's like, dude, we're already getting the max. Yeah.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, do you think maybe we can just work on making some revisions to this, like I have a working group and we can
Yeah,
work
An
on
immediate one, yeah.
Jill,
Maybe we'll do like an immediate
and then
one. like-
yes, and I think we'll have to submit this to the Pacific region, or we can clarify if the Northern is willing to go in and submit this together as Guam. We can go that route instead of going through the Pacific region, because the Pacific region will have to approve and support the resolution to bring it up to the big board, or we can submit it as Guam, but I have to clarify that, but otherwise.
Yeah, we need to talk
Before
to
the end of
Caleb
the
about
meeting.
that because I think we're on that meeting, right? We talked about
That
that.
deadline's like
They
December.
were saying nobody was saying something about. It'd be good to get the support of the Pacific region,
Or many geo remote,
yeah,
Yeah.
so that,
Yeah.
you know,
but we'll work to strengthen
Okay.
the
Yeah.
resolution.
And already there's a couple of things I mentioned that can strengthen it. So I would
Mhm.
think, we can strengthen it. It's just how much
Okay.
more.
So I'll refer back to our notes and then I'll try to,
Isn't there what is it, a group chat where we're talking about the geo remote? Where all the Pacific.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
members are on it?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe what we can do is you take this and send it out and ask them for their feedback, giving them.
yeah, Caleb was gonna help coordinate that
Yeah.
effort, so.
I'll message him.
So what I'm saying is that if we get them to be a part of the
Yeah.
solution and review it. It makes it easier for the Pacific region itself to say, let's do this,
Yeah.
because like you said, it's not only Guam, even though Guam's the
Yeah.
highest. There's Hawaii and there's
CNMI.
CNMI,
Yeah,
Alaska,
Ian.
yeah.
so we did identify all of that thing and that's why we're hoping to get all the Pacific region backing,
Right.
so. Okay,
Alright, so we'll work on it and send it out to the board and Chairman Joe as well.
Strategic planning session.
so we don't need to do anything on that right now, right? Okay. Let's move on to B Southern District Strategic Planning Session. That's dated January 29.
Yeah, so in conjunction with our regular board meeting that we will be having with our partners, we want to use that as an opportunity to engage in a strategic planning session. So I did send out the a proposed program to all of the board for input. But is this something that we want to do? Do we want to have also a strategic planning session with our partners? Proposing that we have the board meeting from 10 to noon. In which we'll hear the usual report out, we'll have prompts, because we want to hear specific types of information of what's going on with our partners and then how we can help, and then we'll go into the planning session for the rest of the afternoon from 1 to 4. And we're looking at possibly having it here, and so there's another meeting space, but of course. We wanna make sure we do the request for quotes for other venues too, but I think this is a nice closer location to the south, opposed to the usual Houston and other places.
Nice, good access. So,
But yes, is this something that the board is willing to commit their time to attend, being that it is on a Wednesday? And it is primarily pretty much the whole day, 10 to 4. And we would have our board meeting and adjourn and then kick into the strategic planning session with our partners.
What was the date again? I'm sorry.
January 29th, 2025.
Wednesday.
Fine.
From
To-
10 to noon would be the board meeting and then from noon to 4 would be the actual, 1 to 4 would be the actual session, and then of course networking time after no more than
I know,
2 hours.
I know I won't be there. I'll be back on island, but I'll arrive like a day before that. And then like I'm already taking all that right off work. So like
In January?
yeah,
Where you?
I'm going to, my godson's getting married.
Oh,
So the whole family's going. For just a couple weeks out of work, and then when I get back, we get back like I think on the 28th. Actually, we might get back on the 29th, 28th or 29th.
Mm.
We'll leave the 27th, right? So we'll get back on the 29th. Come back home, so.
Yeah, I'm not able to make this date either.
I'm available.
Have reservation plans.
Well, I know, we're already losing 2
Yeah,
directors, so can we switch today? Is it possible?
Possible, being that you won't be here until.
I'll be gone. I leave on the 15th.
It just has to be in January. Because we're trying to have, unless we wanna save it for another day, but I think it's the first meeting that we're
How
gonna
about-
have with our partners of the year.
Can you do it if it's on a Thursday? The following day, 29th and 29th?
Yeah, maybe,
The
I mean,
30th.
yeah, I'll probably end up
Thursday?
being that. No, we can, I think it- no, yeah. Oh, but
There's
that's
the
gonna,
30th and
no,
the 31st Thursday.
no, but that's gonna be on the weekday, right? I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to ask to be
Yeah,
out
oh,
of
yeah,
work.
oh, okay, yeah.
Cause I'm gonna already miss all those days of. Then I come back and then the kids are like, officer, no, I'm just joking. No, my principal's in
I
that
can
part.
come back, like, attend in the later.
Yeah, I
part.
could come later. I just won't be able to do it in the day.
Like
I'm
the
gonna be
10
back-
o'clock morning.
Yeah,
thing,
back in the classroom.
So is it Thursday or Friday good?
Well, if it was those days, Thursday would be a better day for me, cause that's the day I don't have a last period. And
Yeah,
I get off at like.
a little bit
1:50.
earlier.
Yeah, so I can zoom up to wherever. Have the meeting in Iran?
good with that?
Have the meeting in Iran?
Oh, well, it's free Wednesday, but
Oh,
can you make it Thursday? Or no?
the next day, right?
Maybe Thursday,
Move it to the,
January 29th.
Well,
I mean,
the
30th.
January 30th.
Yes.
Have the meeting in my classroom? So I
Yeah.
could- Just show.
Okay.
Cool. I'll be okay then.
Right. We have a really cool session designed too. Yeah, it looks interesting, yeah. Okay, so the 30th, can we commit and maybe send out save the dates after?
Glenn's trying to confirm.
Okay. We have to be in shift.
Go, Glenn.
Go doctor, go doctor.
Because I know my dean. Wait, didn't Rachel send out an email about something on either the 29th or 30th of January?
I thought it was January 7th. Oh. Wait, you're right. Dr. Vuki sent the one for January 7th.
Yeah, there's something on the 29th or 30th. Can't find it now.
Dr. Vuki. I know that guy.
Was it your chemistry?
Chemistry, yeah,
professor?
chemistry, yeah. I had to take that a couple times.
So he'll remember you.
Yeah. That was hard on my, for me it was. Any sort of kind of organic.
That's fine. Go ahead.
You good?
But
Let's try it. Let's try it.
Okay, alrighty, thank you.
Okay, good. Let's start planning it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Move on to the 2024 annual report.
It's about that time. I've already been in communication with our secretary, Director Vaughn. I'll be sending out the draft. I've already done the write-up for everybody to read through, but we'd like to submit our 2024 annual report by December 31st, as that is the deadline, along with possibly our 2026 budget request. Yes, so if the board is okay for me to work with Director Avon, I can send out the final and everyone can
Sure.
just say their name.
It was an awesome year. There's a lot to report.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm still writing.
Yeah. This was a very busy year.
Yeah, it's very nice though.
Yeah.
It's nice to kind of look and see. I do need help with pictures and
Okay.
so John's our photographer and Sean. So, yeah, but I'll make sure I send that out as soon as
Okay.
I have a good draft.
Then we can approve it at that time, right?
Okay.
Okay,
I motion to approve the submission of the 2024 annual report upon completion. Deadline for that is December 1st, so Erica will work with us on completing that.
Second.
second, okay, any other input, comments, objections? Without none, so move, thank you. F would be 2026 proposed budget.
Okay, so I sent everyone the proposed budget, and you can see how it compares to FY 2025. We are requesting a total of 438,976. Yeah, we shy of half a million, right? But ask for the pie,
Ask for the
right?
sky.
Ask for the sky. But I think it's pretty much reasonable with all the work that we're doing and planning to do. So, please, if the board needs additional time to review this, let me know. I did talk with the BDMR to clarify our process in submitting our budget request.
It's the same, right?
Director Carlson did respond and he said that we'll just submit our budget via UOG and then they will include it in the executive budget with the governor's request. So I did reach out to UOG because usually they give us they'll call out for our budget, but usually it's around this January, but we should just get it in sooner than later. But that's our request.
I did have one comment. I think last time they asked for what were our priorities within the budget and we stated everything where it was a priority.
Yeah.
I think we had to go and modify that. Do we have a contingency budget just as a backup?
No, I don't think we did. We just said everything. Should we have a contingency?
Well, we have to probably sacrifice the staff.
Right. Staff. And I'm like, right. That's fine, yeah. And I know they don't do that, they don't like to touch staff and personnel, so, okay. Yeah, the staff will remain the same, thankfully, that is our contingency, is we ask for what our current staff is at. In the event we might not get those grants that we usually get, but as soon as we confirm that, we kind of move things around. So I guess looking at the budget overall, we did ask for an increase in conservation outreach production. We also increased the conservation fellowship scholarship program. And then the match that we require for our technical assistance grant that we did ask for more, so we have to commit more in kind or contribution. And we did increase our membership dues and printing services, and we included a GIS software. So pretty much we just had a few increases to the budget. Otherwise, we can submit the same amount from last year.
Why don't we ever add in healthcare benefits?
Because our mandate restricts us
Oh,
from, because our mandate says that the only benefit our staff gets is the FICA. So that's the only reason why it reflects as such, because we're bound within that mandate.
What's the weirdest thing to write in these? I don't even change that.
You should change it.
We did look in, yeah, like a few years back, I remember.
They didn't.
Well, that's at least how I remember when Erica looked in, I was like, oh, wow.
But that's in like our resolution or our public law.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the restricted employee
Yeah.
status. I don't. We've been trying to. What, maybe we can prioritize that, but.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot,
Yeah.
actually. and
Yeah, we did.
Even, you know.
Even for like a vehicle, or trying, I remember we were trying to
put
do
it
all of
into
this stuff.
UOG's, thing, you know, but then
Insurance was one.
those employees are kind of, their statuses could be different and then it might change everything. So those are the concerns, but yeah, we would like to help them, right, get them more.
Yeah,
Hiring through UOG's been very helpful on this. The way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Chairman Joe wanted to.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the district's law is a template of what NACD had provided. And then Guam adopted that template. This is why we have restricted employees. Now, if you look at the NCD or NACD Employee
NCD.
Association,
Mm.
they're trying to change that because a lot of them are
Yeah.
also restricted.
Yeah, because one of the big things is the health insurance and stuff
Right.
like that, so.
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
The
So,
districts are.
so the only way you can do it, and Guam can actually do it, is remove that restriction through going to the law and lobbying for the issue. And by the way, when you're going for your budget, just as a recommendation, if you're getting a grant or applying for a grant, the legislature will be more amenable to matching it versus not giving you the money. So if you have grants, like you said, you're setting up your priority, right? So
Right.
your priority would be making sure you get these grants and funding it because you're gonna pay employees through that grant.
Yes.
And you can indicate that on your
Right.
budget requests.
Yeah,
So we do have our current revenue sources, which includes a detailed breakdown of all the grants that we are receiving.
Right, so but you have matching, right?
Yeah,
So that's what you wanna indicate that you're matching.
yeah,
You wanna very clarify that you're matching and so to make sure they fund those particular grants that you're requesting, even though you haven't received it, but. You know, your likelihood of receiving it is there, so.
or make that top priority.
Right.
If that's top, then at least
Yeah.
they'll.
But Yvonne is not actually correct about they fund employees, they will not cut employees, so that's your already given.
yeah.
yeah, they won't. We should hire more, put more employees than.
No, you gotta be like the other, like the fire now, you have like 20, 30 positions, but no,
But it's what.
everything vacant.
But all in all, is a budget okay? Otherwise, if you'd like to revisit it some more. The board is open to doing that.
Are we good? You want a motion, sir? You wanna?
I move to accept the budget.
A second.
Okay.
A second.
There you go. Any other? Okay, without objection, so thank you. Thank you, Glenn and Yvonne. Okay, where we at? We're going to 9 collateral boards and committees. Southern Guam Feral Swine Committee. That one?
Yeah, well, nothing new.
Or,
Nothing new. Okay, so we met. We met whatever, Monday.
oh, yeah.
Maybe we
that's
should have
right.
Jared do this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, there, that
Yeah, so I thought it was a formal meeting, so I set an agenda, right? But really, it was really informal. So we met on Monday, and thank you to the chairperson, vice chair, and John and Maddie for also attending and providing comments, and Erica as well, and also Joe Takaro, and also Dr. Dula. It was the first time the guidelines were presented and discussed and including eligibility for this new feral swine perimeter project we're trying to roll out early next year. And really the biggest issue is the materials list, NRCS code 382. Practice code 382 activities, and so we're waiting on JB to hopefully approve our suggested locally available materials list. Because a lot of NRCS materials existing, we don't have here, and they're all like galvanized 3 materials that is really hard to find here. But we're still moving forward. I'm still moving forward and adding the current materials that are already approved to the guidelines as we wait for JB's approval for our locally available materials. So that's basically it. Still gonna move forward and trying to finalize the guidelines. I'm gonna be sending out to the wider board. So we're hoping to get it finalized by the next board meeting. Hopefully between now and then we hear from JB, get some good news. But yeah,
Are we
so
inviting him to our next meeting? We're gonna try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was what we said in
Yeah,
the meeting,
yeah.
we wanted to, and Jade or another, our district.
And Jade.
Yeah.
I think JB would prefer that.
Jay handle it.
I mean, but I think JB would be perfect, would be great. So we can hear it right now. But with that, should I then send the follow-up to JB and include all the committee? Yeah, okay.
Jara, what's the preferred material?
oh, there's a long list of
What's
Just
the most
lower-
likely thing that you'll use for the fencing?
the woven fence and
Yeah,
chain link.
I
and
think right
electric
now,
fence.
let's just say let's say JB doesn't approve it, then I'm gonna say probably woven wire would be the one. Woven wire, I think out of our options that we chose from the committee is like, we didn't choose welded wire, we had woven wire, chain link was one, which chain link was in Guam before, we don't know why it's not there anymore, but we found in Delaware, Eric found in Delaware, and they also found in Maine, and Maine they found in 2025. So it exists within their system, but it's not on Guam. So chain link would be one, woven wire would be the other.
Electric.
Electric is the other, but if you had to pick between the two, I mean, if I said, Mark, what would you, you're right, we would choose woven wire. So if I had to pick and choose that, that's what I would say would be.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna, move to take a
Our Northern
break.
Chair wanted to ask if you
Huh?
Oh, I just want to bring up that, one of our district director, actually applied for the fencing grant. He actually modified his thing based upon what, the ARCS had provided,
Yeah.
him, and they actually accepted it.
Yeah.
So I, as a
I
recommendation.
think Joe Takaro did that plan.
Yeah, as a recommendation, maybe you should get with, the director.
Is that the fence that he has existing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe Takaro worked on that, so he's
He's familiar with.
He's
it.
very, yeah, he worked on
Yeah,
it, so he
yeah, so-
knows the,
So according to, cause I spoke to Jay also about it, and Jay said, yeah, it's a better fencing
Yeah.
than what they recommended, and so they're actually using, Director Tanaka's solution.
yeah. So that is, what he has is woven wire. And
Right,
that was the same Dr. Bavak was actually, at the ones that we have. If JB doesn't approve, woven wire would be the way we would probably go, because we're gonna move forward. The MO signed, we're already gonna do it. So if, the only difference would be if we choose woven wire, I mean, that's what it's gonna be. It's just, we're just gonna have to adhere to every single thing that in their qualification. Like, for example, I think Eric and I looked into it, like woven wire also has the 2 wires above it as NRCS's spec, which is kind of like for a deterrent for pigs.
yeah.
Not necessary here in Wallford. It's already, the woven wire in of itself is already a 4-foot high fence. But then because we have to follow the spec, we're gonna have to put either the smooth and or barbed wire above it or electrified or not. So it's like, so we don't wanna do that. So we asked for, if we do go woven wire, our recommendation that was emailed was, could we remove the 2 top wires? Because it's only for deterrent of pig, not like it's containing cattle or sheep or
right.
so on. So yeah, we're on the same boat, and the guy that's our co-PI is actually, right, Joe Takaro. So he did work on that.
Right.
So thank you for the input, we can
Okay, so we're gonna adjourn for a few minutes. We're gonna go outside and take a group photo and then we'll come back in and or move to recess, sorry.
Okay.
I move to take a short recess.
And,
I need to rush around.
Okay.
Can we ask them to give us a little question?
Yeah.
A what?
Erica,
Actually.
do I leave it going or do I? The
resume our, and where we're at in the agenda, which is the NACD board, we're still on that, right?
Yeah,
With the,
now we're getting into the NACD board.
oh, yeah, that's right, okay. So we're on B, NACD boards and
Oh, okay.
committees. First one is the Pacific Region meeting held December 4th.
Yeah, so this is our usual bi-monthly meeting we have with the Pacific region. I was in attendance. The highlights were that we spoke about the proposed resolution coming out of Guam, and then also Alaska had a resolution as well. And then NCDEA also reported on some funding available for the region at a whopping 5,000 for all states and territories within the team. So if there is anything that we want to maybe request for funding from that 5,000 to help staff develop any skills or whatnot, we can submit that to NCDEA.
Financing for, both, not for,
Not per,
Okay, NRPC,
I know Director Glenn usually attends this, but I did sit in on the NRPC meeting held, of the Natural Resource Policy Committee held December 6th. Again, the big highlight was the resolutions process. They did not have quorum. So our next meeting is, of course, going to take place in Utah.
okay. Coastal? Are you?
I think.
Oh, the Water and Climate Subcommittee.
Okay, water.
Yeah, so I do have notes for that. So the Water and Climate Subcommittee. The next meeting is actually on January 22nd, Wednesday. I believe that's 3 AM Chamorro Standard Time, but so far, again, highlighting different policies. The Alaskan resolution was
Was that presented there?
submitted, I think it's going to be submitted on the 22nd. So it's on the law of the seas.
Mhm.
And there's going to be a breakout session covering the policy that was discussed. And it's going to be home is where the habitat is. So I forwarded 3 emails to Southern Guam, just to have you see like all the information there. There are a couple PDFs as well as the resolution. So I should be able to attend the January 22nd meeting.
Yes, I did receive those. Invasive species.
yeah, I haven't attended a meeting since they moved it to 7 o'clock.
Oh,
The meetings used to be at 8 AM, and then I think with daylight savings, they changed to 7, so that's always when I'm dropping off my kid, and
But,
I think Mike goes there.
but our next meeting is tomorrow, I think, or no, Friday. I'm trying to find it, that's why I didn't say, I was looking for that thing.
I didn't get an invite.
Cause we have it
Like, he's not coming anymore.
every other
Yeah,
month
no, I
also,
can't-
so it's not, it's a
this
bi-monthly,
is that from
Wes,
Wesley?
Wesley.
Oh,
Wes
yeah.
and Caleb though on it.
Oh,
And Caleb too, but Wesley the lead.
wait, that it's been received. Invite or you have-
Well, I don't know, maybe they kicked me out.
No, they didn't.
Okay, well, we'll confirm on the next meetings. And we'll,
They don't
we can attend on your behalf if.
Okay,
I think Chairman Joe, since he's here, right, don't you represent on public lands, RPD? Have you met with them or is there any?
No, they did have a meeting, but when they didn't give Guam time and when I looked at it, I actually chimed in at 10, but they're already done because they started at 9 Guam time. and I was
which
kind of
meeting was
pissed.
that?
Public lands.
Oh.
You know, tell Jake I'm not gonna wear my Wolfpack hat anymore. It's thing Guam time.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. They moved it back to 8 o'clock?
But anyways, they're gonna meet at
Yeah, that's what.
at the Utah
It's different,
Oh, the annual meeting.
to discuss the matter on public lands.
right? So it's Friday,
No, it's-
right?
Okay,
Okay.
Jake,
You gonna be
I
there?
got that Wolfpack hat, remember the auction?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, Glenn just confirmed that invasive species meeting will be on Friday morning, one time, so we'll do that. And I think we already reported from the last meeting in the previous meeting, so. Yeah, okay, move on to C, Guam Soil Water Conservation District Working Groups. Long range plan,
Okay, Director.
So, Director Tommy Tanaka reached out to me because he's actually on leave from the 17th to the 21st, I believe, so. We're gonna connect with you, Jen, online to schedule, the initial meeting, so we're gonna figure that out soon.
okay, good. District office,
Dr. Dillon, if you wanna.
Okay. I guess as, Erica is primarily coordinating this, I'm just putting in my input. So there's been some discussion back and forth about revamping and redoing the district office. There was a little bit of discussion trying to figure out whether or not we had I guess rights or the possibility of getting a house in Dean Circle from previous meeting minutes, but that probably is not, well, those meeting minutes were from 1980,
Something.
80 something, so they're pretty much not relevant, even though.
but that was mostly NRCS, right?
Yeah, that was an NRCS office, but yeah, so we're not even gonna pursue that. We're just going to, at least our position is that we would just try to focus in on what we have now. There's also other suggestions potentially that we would try to find, I guess, do maybe a market analysis to see if we could get office space outside of the. We would have to work that into our budget, which we don't, so maybe not. And then I guess within working with what we have now, the current office space is really crowded, disorganized, and Director Marlene brought up the fact that we're probably non-compliant with fire code regulations. You know, I think we have stuff blocking our windows. We don't have a clear, like you'll trip over something trying to run out of the room if there's a fire. It's a small room, but.
Well, yes and no, but.
Oh, you're fine.
So, you're talking about occupancy low, you're talking about square footage and stuff like that, so, you know. Yeah.
Couldn't you be our consultant for?
Every time we have dinner, you tell me about that.
We could talk about one of those, out there.
Dr. Dula, is security a problem for the present office?
I don't
You know,
think-
the door being left ajar at night and stuff?
Yeah, so I guess that's happened a couple times. How do you know about that?
Yeah.
I guess it was discussed in your meeting. Yeah. I guess it's a blame game, like no one knows really who's leaving it ajar. Could be the maintenance people, could be custodians, it could be us. Instead of pointing fingers, I think we can just find a solution, and just get an automatically locking door.
Joe?
Yeah, so I told gentleman, you know, we can't do, you're right, we can't do a blame game because we don't know who. But what we can do is do some passive security, which is, I mean, it's only $65 for a written camera, right? And we can just security camera, and you can actually talk on the camera, and you can know who comes in and out. And so just get the Ring camera.
Well, the first step actually would have been for communication
Right,
between the two districts. on that.
well,
And
I think that, did Jen bring that up about the issue of the door being, because I said, did you, just ask the South about, you know, anyone from the South, what happened, it was you.
She did ask, actually, it wasn't her, it was Savannah. So I let Savannah.
Because it was Savannah that found it,
But I was like, okay, we need, maybe if this happens again, we really need to bring it up because we weren't sure at that point, like why it was.
Yeah, why wasn't that open?
Then
And we didn't know, and the same likewise said, maybe
Right.
some maintenance came in, but we don't know.
Exactly,
We're not gonna do
so
the blame game, let's just do some security.
that's why I
measures.
was really
Yeah.
surprised when I saw an email that was written from the north. Savannah wrote an email to Miss Annie as per the instruction of Jenna Lynn, letting them know to, just please make sure you're adhering to whatever security measures. I would have liked to coordinate that, message so we could be unified, but also shouldn't we be taking those types of requests through our advisors or at least informing the board before sending any type of correspondence, especially we weren't aware that it was gonna go out like that. So I did request that any type of correspondence, please make sure that
Yeah.
we're informed as well, as it relates to our shared assets, right? So I think that's already been addressed.
And I think that might have been me that didn't lock it. So if you guys checked me, I would have been like, my bad, guys, I'm sorry. I'll lock it next time.
Well,
I'm like-
I think the reason why they did, because, it's always been locked, and the south and the north was always, very thorough about making sure the door was locked. I'm
Right.
thinking maybe somebody from the maintenance came in, and actually left it unlocked by accident, so we wanted to inform, because they have a key also.
Right,
And so we wanted to make sure that we're not, you have to be included in the mix, and I guess that's why Savannah or Gentleman said to consult with it, but when they brought it up to me, I was saying that, okay, to inform Erica about it, to see what we can do from there, and one of the solutions is getting a security camera. And so people can walk, when they walk in, you'll know if somebody walked in.
Can't have a security camera, it's a public space.
That's it, you can have on a public space. Security cameras. We have that at the museum, and we have it at my office. I mean, the ones that have access to it knows exactly what's happening. And so the cheapest way is the Ring camera. You have that, only certain people will have access to it, and they can view, it will alert you if there's somebody in the office.
Or I could just remember to lock it next time.
Well, we didn't know who.
Merry Christmas.
yeah.
But taking it up to that
Yeah,
level, Joe was.
okay, I think that the decision to do that, I think they did it not because they wanted to say, okay, that, they wanted to just alert, because we're thinking it's not the south, or they're thinking it's not the south, it's probably something from.
Yeah, like security or something.
I mean, we appreciate the intent, but it's just coordinate that with the South, or can we have a protocol in which we work through our advisors, because I think it's just mutual respect between,
I
we
thought
wouldn't.
they only went to you, that's why.
I mean, they
when
didn't
they-
say,
when
oh,
they
we're
consider-
gonna send
Yeah,
a message to
Nothing
Ms.
about
Annie.
writing a memo, Joe.
So maybe he'll take that back. No, you can take that back to your.
But,
When we could have easily reached out to Mark or Mike and.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
this
Mark,
would have been-
dude, I forgot. Oh, can you?
Yes, John.
Guys, sorry, Jenna Lynn's been raising her hand for a while.
Hi, everyone. Yes, no, we're not blaming anyone. It's just I thought it was right. I'm sorry for that. I did send that in my email to the chairs and the advisors as well. But we did double check I had asked Savannah to double check with Erica. Erica also stated that the South had the first incident that had happened. So I was like, Erica did tell her that we should mention it, but for the third time, did we want to wait for a third incident to happen again? So that's why I had brought it up directly. I understand I'm still new and learning the protocols of what we're supposed to do. So other than that, I agree with everyone. A protocol written down would be really nice, at least for everyone to have an idea, not just for the district director in the district, or not just the staff, but also everyone involved, right? So as part of just procedure, of what we want to do and how we want to handle the office. I do suggest a chat group just for employees, so we ensure that we all have accountability with each other. But that's just a suggestion. Thank you.
Yeah. So every other lab or office space in the building, except your office, has a lock that just locks automatically once you close the door.
Yeah.
We can just simply change the lock to make it where it just automatically locks once you close the door.
Yeah.
And you just always bring your key with you. You never leave it on.
Mr. Chair, is that something we would have to make, like, do, or do we say maybe you can work with the Northern on that? Or how do we do that if we want to move that to, I like that idea, I'd like to.
Yeah, I don't see any camera around the university campus at all.
Would that be something UOG would provide?
We can ask facilities.
I like
UOG controls that, so we have to go to UOG to get permission,
So,
change the lock, then we have to provide them a copy of the.
and see what we can get.
Yeah, in the building right now, they set up brand new cameras. So one are controlled by the security, and then there's others which Yamanaka controls. So there's several new cameras. I just wanna.
That's good.
Okay, so anyway, let's not
Yeah.
drag this out. Mark, Mike, you guys don't mind check facilities if they're able to change our lock and stuff like that, and let's just move on. It's a door lock.
I think.
Okay, moving on to SWCD poster contest. Martha, or-
That's me. I can report on that.
Okay,
Yeah. All right. I was like, so we want to ensure, the poster contest was held. We had opened it up, to all grade levels, and in the end, we had, entry from, fourth grade students from Machinao, I forgot the teacher's name, Dr.
Leo or
yeah.
Savannah, let me know, but.
Dr. Lanio. Yeah.
Lamizu?
Yeah. So her students entered, and from that selection, I believe there were about 28 students. The winners were selected, and the final winner who was chosen, that entry was already submitted to the NACD
Wow.
because the deadline was December 1st.
Yeah.
And so right now, we're in the process of just securing the prize of the ceremony. And so it's going to happen on January 7th at 8:30 in the morning. The school requested that it coincide with their Marvelous Marlins Day, when they recognize Student of the Month kind of thing. And so that's gonna be, that day is already set, and if anyone is available, it's at 8:30 in the morning. I believe I'm working on that day, so I don't know who can come on that day up to Machinao
I'll zoom it
to
up.
represent Southern Guam. And they're just gonna call out the winners and give them their checks, a prize, as well as their certificate, and I believe there's also a wooden trophy that they are gonna get recognition.
Joe,
No, it's good, she got it.
no, but you represent nice that much,
What?
So also because when we submitted the entry form, it asked for what district, and we identified it as Northern District winner, because they are from the north, and
Yeah.
so.
I wanted to see the poster.
They're,
Oh, there.
Great thing to put in the newspaper.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes, so.
they're gonna have a news coverage.
Yeah,
on
we
it
wanted
to
that
take a
news
picture.
coverage
Yeah.
on it.
So they'll make sure there's the press.
Have the
report.
kid in front of the
Yeah.
poster going
Yeah.
like this.
And then we're hoping that was our first time to ever enter the poster contest. We did come in a little bit late on the game because it actually, they give you all the information since February, and but it went great for considering, I think 1 month to get it to happen, and the entries were actually not so bad. We would like to see next year, better participation, better representation of an island-wide contest. And that just means we just have to start earlier, get the word out sooner, and really encourage teachers to get their students to participate. And that would be so awesome. We had so many good prizes. It's just shame that no one really entered to take advantage of that. But we saved money because there were all those other contests ended up not happening.
I was kind of bummed because it's like I definitely wanted to put my kids in,
Yeah.
but remember it was like so late, and
Yeah.
then my school was the last one to be inspected, so remember, like, I didn't have even
Right.
class
Yeah.
until,
Yeah.
like, right then, I'm like.
Yeah, it was chaos the
Yeah.
last
But this year we'll be, you
Yeah.
know, we did the first, now we know a little bit more
Right on.
experience.
Good
so I
job, man.
expect-
All right, good job,
Good job.
Martha, you guys.
May I just share?
The photo,
That
Yeah.
sees it.
much, yes.
Oh.
Wait,
I'll get solar, tree,
yeah.
What does
oil,
that do to crude oil?
save tree,
May the forest be with you always. So they had to identify the
the
theme,
theme.
and then their, part of the criteria was to show examples. You know, of how we can, you know, be better stewards.
Do they know what the donkey looks like? You look at that oil, donkey. No.
So congratulations to the winners and
Yay.
and
Good
save the
job, you
date for
guys.
somebody who can be there on January 7th.
And thank you to the North for
Yes.
all of your efforts.
Yes,
and
thank you.
coordinating
Yes.
with the
That was a
teacher.
nice project to collaborate on with and
We have a lot of great ideas for next round.
Yes.
So, I think we had the question about prize money, so we're
Yeah.
okay with the North, you know?
Yeah. you write the check completely, but then we will write you the check to reimburse half of that.
But can we all write the check for the NACD?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah, well, we can talk further.
okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, good job.
Good job, you guys. That's
Awesome, first time we did it, right?
Love it.
Good. Okay, moving on to GACD account.
Oh, that's me again.
Mhm.
So I did, have a meeting with Director Katrina. Unfortunately, when we started, we realized that we were not actually on the same page with what the meeting was for. And so we decided that if we had this meeting too soon, we need to go back to, you know, what we want to do. And then re-meet. And unfortunately, because it's already near the end of the year and Director Katrina is actually going to be visiting, like she's off island for a while. So instead of rushing it and trying to meet with her, we're just gonna wait until January and reconvene on that meeting. And I'm recommending that we really should have a representation of really both the chairs in that meeting as well. And any other directors who want to be there, because there seems to be a disconnect of what this JCD account needs to be done with that and what do we want to do with it? So
Yeah.
that is my recommendation. And so there was no meeting. We ended up not
Okay,
talking.
thank you.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, did you want to add?
Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty much covers it.
Mhm.
But it's a great segue to the next working group.
And I'm gonna add one more time though. I did say the most important thing about this JCD account is the tax payment that we have back taxes that need to really be addressed with this account. And so, you know, I don't like that that's hanging over us. Anytime I hear about Uncle Sam and us needing to give him money, I have visions of people taking it all away from us. So, yeah, very important that we do that sooner than later, as soon as everyone is back on island. And that's one of the priorities that needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Good job, thank you. So next one is the Soil Water Conservation District mandate.
So this really highlights the GACD status. So Chairman, we met with Senator Sabina, and I'm happy Chairman Joe is also here. He met with Senator Sabina regarding the GACD, or the association rather, so.
Yeah, so we met with her yesterday, like noontime, right? And you know, we're expressing our issues or concerns or whatever, how the approach to the whole thing. And just talking with her, and I know I even let Joe know too, that we previously already decided that we would rather exit the GACD and start all over if that's what we decide to do. But I know, Joe, you guys said you guys want to try to keep it going and build on it or something. I'm not sure, but that's what we're thinking, because that was the last we heard. So when we were talking to Sabina, right, and we're like, you know, we talked about the, what do you call it? Having it, what was that with the Attorney General and other,
Violation of.
Well,
ethics.
Yeah, but you know, that the opinion, right, from the AG and others, right, we got from UOG and all that, so. On our point is that I think it's a better thing, cause we didn't create it and we kinda came in the middle of the thing and tried to resurrect it. And, to our, you know. Right in the middle of all that, we were told that it wasn't allowed because there was a change in the ethics law or whatever you call it, right? And so we're thinking that the best thing for us is just to get out of that. Cause like I said, I wasn't involved, maybe you were in the creation of that, and there's a lot of unknown history and stuff, and I just don't wanna be a part of that. I think it's better if we exit, create a new organization if that's what it takes. And, so what we're thinking is that if you guys wanna try to keep it going, which, hey, more power to you. We will figure out some kind of thing with the financials, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, Mr.
Okay, go
Chair.
ahead.
So we spoke with Senator Sabina, I know Chairman Joe, that you did share with us the bill. A proposed bill to have the association recognized under our mandates. So we are in communication with NACD on how associations are related to NACD. So we asked NACD, is it mandatory for Guam to have an association in order to vote? The short answer is yes. Okay, but NACD there may be some gray area and they're reviewing special circumstances. Because, for example, what about American Samoa? They only have one district. Can they vote? Or can they participate in the big board? Like anyone could be, any district can be a member. But the question we have is, can we participate in the big board? So right now, NACD is recognizing Guam still, knowing that GACD is defunct. They know that there's representation from the south, representation from the north. So they have just been allowing us to vote as we currently are. So our position is that we do support establishing an association, but we just want to do more for like research into the appropriate structure, the bylaws and what the legal framework looks like to ensure compliance and we're being effective, right? So our recommendation is that we believe, and even Senator agreed with us when we did meet with her, is that we just dissolve the current association due to the implications already identified, and then create a whole new association, be the founding fathers.
As a matter of fact,
for
her staff, the advisor, right?
Right.
The advisor too, that they didn't recommend putting that thing through, Joe. I don't know if she told you guys that.
So we also met with
Yeah.
her today, 12:30, and we had a conversation about the association. We did give her the information about why the NACD, the tie-in for an association
Right.
for each state is there. And by the way, you brought it up exactly right on target, that the districts get a vote, but also the association gets a vote. So we actually have, when we vote, we can get 3 votes into the thing, and we have the association and the 2 districts being there in terms of voting. So that's an equal voting thing or an opportunity for us to vote. Now, there are, we did consult with Caleb on the pros of having what's the pros and cons of having an association. There were hardly any cons, there were all of them were pros. The bulk of it is that there are grants available, not to the government organizations, but to the association itself. So it behooves us, if we want some grants to come in.
Yeah.
To continue on or form an association with that. We did meet with, like I said, with Senator Sabina and the staff, John Lee, which was the advisor. By the way, that advisor is going to be the same, is transferring to Senator Ada, who's going to be our chair. So they're bringing that institutional experience into where Senator,
Good.
especially with the districts itself. we did talk about it, and, she says she can't do anything, and she wished she would have, addressed it, because in the beginning, when we got elected, we did, meet with her, and briefed her, gave her a copy of the bill,
Mhm.
but she didn't act on it, and she was thinking that her staff,
And we followed up a couple times.
yeah, her staff, was going to, vet it and make sure that it was there so that they can meet with us. And she says, she can't do anything now.
Right.
But she's gonna make a recommendation for Senator Ada, who's gonna be the chair, to bring it up within there. The Attorney General, I checked with them, I'm waiting for them to respond to a request that I made, providing those documents associated with it, to include even the organization and the opinion given by UOG's legal counsel. And Senator Sabina agrees that the chief legal officer for Guam and that represents the district is not the attorney for UOG. It is the attorney general, and that's what we
I
need
mean,
to.
we agree on that too,
Yeah.
but still the matter is, she also agreed that there is a
An
violation.
issue.
Well, there's an issue with that because the original bylaws was changed that only allowed the district board members, government board members to become an actual board member officer of the association, which you can't have because that's an ethics issue. If you go in and you amend the bylaws that allow your membership of your registry
Mhm.
and board members to be a part of it, and you elect to the general assembly or a general meeting, you elect, whether it's a board member being on there, but they're a member of the association, and you vote on them, or they get nominated and you vote on them, then they can be on that board.
Great, so
But she said the bottom line is,
can't do anything.
you can't do anything, she can't do anything. They have to bring it up in the next session. And she's looking forward to the Attorney General's opinion on that. And she did read the thing from the Tony Camacho, legal counsel Camacho, and was saying that it has to be from the Attorney General. And so we're at that juncture right now. The issue at hand, and Director Tenorio brought it up, which is one is we haven't addressed the issue of revenue tax, and we haven't addressed the issue. You cannot close, if you close the account, you're gonna have a problem because the issue when closing it, you have to have a meeting of the actually GACD board to dissolve it. And if you don't have the meeting to dissolve it or the meeting to close the account, then you can't close the account. So anyways, we talked about, we're waiting for the due houses to wait for the Attorney General, guidance to us to move forward with it. We did provide a white paper on the pros of, or rather, why an association needs to be formed, what's the purpose of the association. A lot of it came out of Caleb, the guidance given by Caleb and another individual providing input into the purpose of an association. And by the way, we did do a research into the associations of all the different states. So there are 52 jurisdictions or states and territories that have associations. Guam is one of them, 53. America, you're right, American Samoa doesn't have. But Puerto Rico, which looks like ours, and we can actually template that as part of their thing, because they're an island. They also share the same issues that we have, but that's generally it.
So it's basically the same thing. We're just waiting. That's the same, everything that we kind of just gotta wait. So that we can actually do that. Nothing.
Okay, I know we're not gonna resolve that tonight, so.
Yeah.
It's the same, nothing's changed. It's the same.
So next item would be the election, Glenn or Mark?
Yeah, I can talk on this. Well, we haven't met yet, but I was talking to Bob Babaco here, and we would like to add him on as well as Jenilyn on this working group for the election. Both Bob and I were planning on meeting with the former advisors, Dr. Bob Barber as well as Jesse Bamba, who were part of the actively doing the elections in the past. So we want to meet with them. So to be honest, this is gonna be our first election running it. So we want to get the historical context. And we would be able to clarify many of these questions, like the advertisement, who's responsible for paying that, as well as the SOPs about the ballot printouts, the election, the counting of the ballots, notification of the results, as well as the posters and signage of the boundaries for informational purposes of those voters. So we'll be able to answer that once we meet with
Okay.
Bob Barber and Jesse. Yes.
Sounds good. So,
Is it okay, I mean, you know, our directors. I know that we kind of recommended another director be a part of the working group
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that might be a potential conflict of interest,
for the-
but the director has valuable input and just kind of make sure that we are adhering to whatever responsibility on the district side of the house. But yeah, so I feel like this is our my
Yeah.
third rodeo,
Yeah.
maybe with the,
The election.
and there's just a lot of inconsistencies and a lot of last minute
Mhm.
things, and especially with the budget. Even like with how the active district membership clarification, for example, I think Dr. Bob said no additions or submissions, but we've always operated where if you come in and you say you're a landowner, we type in your name and our DLF website or database, and we're able to confirm right then and there that they are a member. But now we have a registration process, and I don't know, there's about 10 people almost on it. And so it's just having to consider those different types of circumstances. What is allowed and what's not.
yeah,
And there's other things, but we can talk offline regarding that.
okay, so, yeah, Mark, I mean, you know, you're our advisor, that's why we recommended him and Glenn to be a board member on it. But sure, it's both a north and south, election, so obviously. And Joe, we would just hope that you could put a board member to represent your northern side on this thing and not. You're not voting in that thing, you're just going through all the administrative details of the election. It's time for election time, of course, we're all gonna step aside and then they'll cover that from there, so. Anyways, it's up to you guys to organize your thing, so. Thank you for that. Moving on to Guam Watershed Planning Committee.
We want to engage in this committee. I think EPA is the one that really is the coordinator, but BSP is also the coordinator, helps. But that next meeting is 12:30, December 30th, 2024. It says on the 26th. So on our agenda, but it's on the 30th at 9 AM. There's a virtual option available. So
This is for
it's the Guam Watershed Planning Committee.
that's a really important one.
Right, yeah. So, Dr. Richard, are you able to attend? 9 AM, and you can attend.
I can try to attend that one.
Alright. The Guam Invasive.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, moving on to the Guam Invasive Species Committee.
So the Southern District is a part of the Education and Outreach Committee. I met with Roland on November 22nd. We had some recommendations that we'll send up to Chris, like how, the need to update the biosecurity plan. I think that was the biggest part. And then, clarifying the different committees, because I think the names were kind of mixed up. But, that was basically our action items that we want to propose at the next invasive species committee happening on January 8th, 2025 at 10 AM. Are you going to that, Dr. Dolo? You attended last time?
Yeah, no, I hate. Sure, I'll do.
And then.
What was it again?
January 8th, 2025 at 10 AM, and I need to clarify where it's at. Chairman Joe, are you assisting and coordinating? This is the northern, like last time, how we had the video conferencing system and.
Right, so Savannah's taking the lead and working with Chris Rosario. We had a meeting with them. They don't have the money to advertise it, so they asked us to put it in the media. They approved the agenda, and one of the things that we had a problem with is Chris Rosario, the acting biosecurity chief. It sends out the announcement, but he doesn't know if anyone's reading the, not the announcement, but the emails.
Yeah.
So some members, some voting members are not attending because they're not aware of it, or it's not being received to it. So Savannah's helping Mr. Rosario make sure that that's there, and we've agreed that we will once he sends out the initial email notice, we'll get involved and notify, call the members or the directors personally and say, hey, we're having this meeting, here's the information, and we'd like you to attend. We're looking at, we offered the museum, but they also have the conference room, the governor's cabinet conference room, so those are two options that are available. There's also another, from there's a workshop that they're giving, they're having.
Regional biosecurity
Yeah.
training from January,
Right,
it's in the mid part of January,
right,
the 13th.
right, so it's gonna be up there at, where's that place in Tiza?
The Trades Academy.
Trades Academy, so it's gonna be held at the Trades Academy because the classrooms, well, that's generally it, so we're paying for the ad. And we're also, upon him sending out the initial notice, we'll go in and follow up with each of those board members and seeing if they're here. You gotten a copy of the minutes, right? Yeah, so.
Receiving.
Yeah, he emails.
Yeah, and I get it from Chris, yeah.
Yeah, so the minutes have all the thing that's there in terms of it. What's her name, Savannah, it's recorded, so she went and did it, but yeah, we can. If it's up in there, at the cabinet conference room, they already have the equipment. But if it's not at the cabinet conference room, because that's what we're asking Chris to determine, because we're not, he's in charge. We wanna make sure that he takes the lead and just inform us of how we can help.
Awesome. Thank you, Northern, for supporting our guests. But yeah, just let us know. We're happy to help you.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving to the time already. We're almost done. So moving on to board correspondence. The first one is the NRCS.
So Corey from NRCS, I guess they're gonna revamp their state technical advisory committee. This is in which where the local working group submits our, we communicate, we're the subcommittee under the staff. Corey asked that there is one representative for Guam's SWCDs. I think our recommendation is to do an alternating, so for example, if the north is the primary for NACD, maybe the south can be the primary for this staff. I don't really know, but alternating between who represents. Otherwise, if there are other
Options.
yeah, because of course, we're gonna be biased. So Chairman Joe, I don't know if your board talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about it, and we don't have a problem, we just need to identify, is the south gonna do it or the north gonna do it?
So how do you want to do it?
I mean, we can get on and then just be an alternate or be a primary. We just get on to make sure we have situational awareness of the meeting that's happening. The staff meeting that's happening.
So the northern right now is gonna be the annual meeting, right? So why don't the south take the lead this right now? And then you identify one of yours as the alternate and let them work out
Okay.
okay, works, right? Yeah, there you go. We're good, right?
Are we good with that?
Are we?
I think the only only other discussion, I'm sorry, I don't wanna drag it on, but it's like, we should have an understanding of how our staff or NACD representatives report back to each board. I think it's just a long time that.
Yeah.
We wanna strengthen our communication, as you're representing Guam and we're representing Guam. What is the most effective way to make sure we're communicating? I like, this is good, we have reported on our RPGs and you were here to report on your RPG, we'll. Switch that later.
Okay.
Next item, we already covered that one,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So let's move on to letter of support for Glenn Takai. Glenn, for your, I don't know what the acronym stands for, your SA.
Yes,
F
I'll
and
make
R.
one up.
Sustainable agriculture,
Oh, yeah, there's.
nutrition.
Representative.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure, yeah. So, yeah,
I support, right?
Yeah, that's
Sell
perfect.
it to me.
Yeah, so, yeah, no, basically, I'm deciding, when I was doing my master's program back in a number of years back, I never finished on the environmental science program. And so at that time, the SAFNR program didn't exist. And so now I was kind of just thinking of things and wanting to go back to school. And I talked to Dr. Liu, and then I guess he's the chair, correct, of the SAFNR program. So kind of did that paperwork and all that stuff, and to be able to come back in, I would need to get 3 letters of recommendation, fill out an application, have someone to work with. And I think the person that I want to work with would be Dr. Dula, who's a faculty and he's a guy that does research. So I could work with him to do my whatever, do classes and then be classmate with Mark again, Acosta.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's already gonna finish, so so it's just, yeah, it was something that I asked, for letters of recommendation, I asked if the district could be one.
What is this? What is the name of the program?
Sustainable agriculture.
And natural resources.
So the letter would be coming from us as
As a
a.
district, yeah, and the chair is the one that.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
awesome, oh,
So
good, yes.
it was on the, yeah,
If you want, we'll each write one letter.
yeah, so I need 3, it's, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck on that.
I know you're in.
When did that start?
It started, I think, in like 2019, somewhere around
Oh,
that.
the SAFNR program?
Is it, cause I'm
Masters.
about to apply for my master's as well, but online.
Yeah, so there's different
So-
tracks. We have
Okay.
different tracks. One is agriculture, natural resources. Then there's other one in food and nutrition as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's the research base and the, what was the other track? The applied track.
Well,
Forget what it was.
it's
Yeah.
Gonna go to So we're gonna send still a residence,
Right.
but we're gonna. Yeah,
Okay, let's
I'll
put it right
direct you
there.
to the message.
I know.
Let's do it some.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
we can write a letter of support,
Okay,
one per director.
we'll move on to public comments and announcements. Anybody have anything? Joe? You're good?
Oh, I wanted to bring up, I was invited, not as a district director, but for Department of Human Affairs to they're restarting the non-communicable disease consortium. NCD consortium, and I was asking, can we invite the South to it, because they deal with nutrition and on it, so we gave them the Southern's what called it again,
Email?
to invite you guys formally to become a part of the consortium. There's funding available by them. And they also set up committee things, they're the one responsible for the no smoking thing that happened, they did other things that they introduced bills or policies on, and it was accomplished. Or they were successful in doing it, so I don't know if the South wants to participate in that, but I asked them to invite you guys to it, to become a part of it.
No, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
Okay. So for us, just to remind you, once we're done with this meeting, we do have a short, right, Erica? strategic planning,
slash team building, so
Yeah.
we might just do the.
I was
team
gonna say,
building,
while we're eating.
yeah, okay, there you go.
But yes, the strategic plan, we'll hit on it a little bit and then I can work with everybody directly too.
Okay, the next one is, we need to call for a motion to enter into an executive session to discuss, personal hires and so. This is strictly our Southern Board, discussion, so.
We'll keep you guys out.
Yeah.
Okay,
I make a motion that we
Okay.
move into executive session at this time in order to
Second.
discuss personnel hires.
Second.
Third,
Okay, so thank you guys, give us
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, Jen. Thank you for joining us.
Come back. Eric, Texas.
Take food with you.
I know. But the presentation is higher, recently, we had like about 40.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly, yeah. You guys wanna use the restroom first or any?
Glenn did, he ran, he'll be back.
Oh, do you guys need to turn this off? I think so.
Yes, please. Yeah, I think we're still
No,
on.
just put a piece of paper over.
No, or, because we're online, right?
It's not recording.
Is it?
No, it's off.
It's off, okay, let me check with, John.
Yeah, it says not
You guys
recording.
can just watch your phone. Are we gonna try?
Huh? I was gonna hit the. Sorry. I know. Hey, I know about one since. Hey, I got this for the.
I know it's a big thing.
It's, different. That's for the Southern District. It's Johnny Walker Gold. So, you know, it's go down smooth.
Push it out for me. Johnny Walker.
Oh, instead of the second.
It's like now, okay, I was thinking we're just gonna be sitting.
Yeah. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
start going.
Yeah,
Someone catch you.
So then when you come out of executive.
We'll go
just
join you
adjourn.
over there. Yes, yeah. Okay.
Okay, go right there. Well, try to record,
Is this room secure? We all exit?
Let's try to record adjourned, okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna try to record adjourned, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
There a thingy?
All our stuff in here.
Yes.
Because
we're coming back this way.
Sorry.
Oh.
I think it's still recording. I'm sorry. I forgot to.